Hello and welcome into another edition of JayMac Hacks. I hope the videos that I've shown you thus far have been informative. If you haven't watched the previous videos, please know what I'm about to show you is more for advanced users or power users. If you're just looking to learn how to use Roam Research and some of the basics and to see how I use it, I'll put some links down in the description of this video. In today's video, we're going to focus on improving the Roam experience. Now, I like Roam, but it does seem a little bit too mechanical, a little bit too codey, if that's a word. And so I needed to really spice it up a little bit. I'm a visual guy. I like colors. I like pictures. I like anything that I can do to delineate between information. So I have customized my Roam experience, and I'm going to share with you how you can do these things today as well. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to change the hyperlink appearance so that you don't see all of the code for the hyperlink. Then I'm going to show you how to change the appearance of queries and how they act when you look at them. And then I'm going to show you how to add colors to your hashtags. This is one of my favorite features so that I can just look at a glance and I can know what project or category or particular item is pertaining to. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to add emojis, these little pictures that you see. Again, these are more advanced users, so if you were looking for information on basics, please watch the videos before this. But for me, these things that I'm about to show you are absolutely essential in making the Roam user experience beneficial for me. So without any other waiting, let's dive right in. Okay, so once again, we can see we are on my Roam homepage, my daily note. You can see where I have set up my daily tasks and the things that I want to accomplish today. You can see my query there under today's task, and then I also up here on the right have my different queries for the different projects that I am working on. So, and when I click those down, you can see the query. Now, this may look or does look quite a bit different than your queries. And you'll also notice that when you look at my hyperlinks, so for example, here on October 16th, you'll notice that there's no brackets around there. It's just the hyperlinked word. So how did I get rid of the hyperlinks, and how can I make it so the query code is not showing up? Just again, I'm a minimalist in a lot of ways. I don't want things to be appearing that are confusing to me or that distract me. So I want to show you how to accomplish these two things first of all. So here we are in my instruction graph, and this is what I'm talking about. Notice here on meetings how there are the double brackets there. And if I create a new page, like I showed you before, I hit the double brackets and I say new page, and then I hit enter, well, there's double brackets around the page. I don't like this. I want it to just show as a hyperlink, and it's really, really easy to change if you don't want it. And so what you do is you go up here to the three dots, click on the three dots, and then click on settings. And then right here, your first option right at the top is brackets. Just deselect that, click off of the menu, and now you can see under new page, those brackets are gone. I don't have to deal with them anymore. That's just my personal preference. You can leave it set up however you want it, but it's real easy to turn off those brackets. Now, again, look over here under these queries, and you'll see that the query language is visible above the box. Again, I'm not a fan of this. I don't want to see the query language. And so I went and found a way to change it. And so I'm going to show you the simple way to do it, but it's not so simple. So let me not lead you astray. As I pointed out, these are more advanced features. All right. So if we go back into my graph and I go up here to the search bar, so if I type in Roam/CSS, and on this page, you'll see a bunch of changes that I've made. Now, this is the page where I've added colors to my hyperlinks, and it's also where I've gotten rid of that query language. We'll talk about the colors for hyperlinks here in a few minutes. But if I scroll down here, I will see the code that I've entered in that takes away the query language. And this is it right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put this in the description of this video so that you can copy it as well. You just copy the whole thing. There's 7 lines there. So I'm going to hit Control-C. And now I'm going to go back into my instruction note. Now, in your case, you'll be copying it from the YouTube video description and then go into your graph. And if I click on search and I type in Rome/CSS, you will notice there is not currently a CSS page in your Rome. And that's because you haven't created it yet. So notice that it says new page. So I'm going to say yes, new page. All right. So now I'm just going to click on the top here, my first bullet, and this is where I'm going to enter in the code that we just copied. Now this is CSS code. This is code that affects the appearance of your Rome research. And again, for me, I don't need to know how it works. I'm not here to explain to you how it works. All I want you to know is that when you copy and paste this in the right way, it's going to impact the way queries are viewed on your entire graph. But you want to paste it in correctly. You want to tell Rome exactly what type of language it is that you're using. So to do that, you're going to hit the /, and then you're going to get some options here. You can scroll down or just start typing code, and you'll see code inline and code block. The one that I want is code block. And then you'll see over here on the right, it wants to know what type of code this is. Is it JavaScript? Is it something else? Well, this is CSS code, so I'm going to choose CSS. All right. And then I'm going to go over here next to the 1, and I'm just going to paste in that code. All right. Now, that, if it worked properly, when I reload the page in Rome, I should see that query language disappear. So let's go ahead out to my daily note. And let's see, we had the query language in the to-do page. So now you can see here at the top, the query language has disappeared. Now that may seem like a lot of work to get rid of the query language, but for me, I really like it. I just want to eliminate it. I really hope that in the future, Rome will make these queries look even better because it's still not the biggest fan of their appearance, but I love how they work. So that's how you get rid of the syntax when it comes to queries. Now you'll also notice here that there's a settings button, and if you click on that settings, you can also affect a couple of more things when it comes to queries. So if I click on that, you can see I have a couple of items, group by page, and then show paths. So the path is this meetings right here. Now that is where I entered or where I indicated that it was going to be a meeting. And in fact, we can go back here. That was on October 16th. So just a reminder of how that path would look. If I click on October 16th, if you remember, I had a meetings highlight or headline, and I put some things underneath that. So this is the path right here, and this is the page. October 16th is the page. The meetings is the path in this case when we're looking at that query. So if I go back, you can again see that this was on October 16th, and this was a path that I created on that page. So if I click on query and I say, I don't want to see the path, I just want to see the date, you can see that that path disappeared. So now it's no longer telling me that this was under a meeting. Or I can do it the other way around. I can say, show me the path, but don't show me the page. And you can see now the date disappeared. I like to have both of these on because I like to know what date it occurred, and I like to know the path or the reference that I gave it. But these are just two additional ways that you can impact your queries and better customize the information to your needs. All right, now let's go back into my graph and let's talk about colors, all of these colors that you are seeing. I have one color for content ideas. I have one color for this type of goals. I have one color for JayMac Productions. I have one color for personal goals. Now, how did I do that? And then when you go to each of those subject matters here in the right, you will also see that I have the colors, and they should all match under a particular category because that's the way that I've built the query. So how are you going to go about creating these custom colors for your tags? Well, we're going to do this back on the same CSS page that we just created. So let's go back to the CSS page in my Rome. So remember, I'm going to type in Rome/CSS. And you can see here that I have a title here called Tax Colors. I'm pretty sure that I meant to call it Tag Colors, but I do some work in the tax industry, and so maybe I had taxes on the brain. But you can see here that there is different code blocks, and it's basically repeating. So this 1 to 8 is the same as this 10 to 17. So these are repeating. And all you're going to need is one of these. And again, I'm going to put this code block in the description of the YouTube video. But you can see here, all you really need to know is where to put the tag and how to choose the color and the font. So right here is the tag that I want to have the color change apply to. So this is whatever hashtag it needs to match. It's case sensitive. So here you see I have TTSGoals. Here you see I have content ideas. Here's where I have JayMac Productions. So you can see I've entered in a new snippet of code for each category that I want to create that has a color. So again, right here is where you enter the tag. Just put it between the quotes. Then you have the background color. So remember, this is a TTS goal. So if I click on my TTS goals, those are appearing as a dark green background and a white foreground or white text. So you can see right here, if I click on that little green box, it will bring up a color selector and I can choose the background color. And then if I choose on the next color where it's white, I can choose the text color. So the dark green one I have is the background color, and then where it just says color, that is the text color. And it's as easy as that to create color tags for your hyperlinks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one piece of code right here. And again, you'll be copying it out of the description. And then I'm going to go into my instruction graph. And then I'm going to find my Rome CSS page. Remember, that's where we entered the one code of block to change our queries. And what I want to do now is I can just add this to the same blocks or the same CSS that I've already created by just hitting the return key and creating a new line. And I like to hit 2 return keys. I don't know how that affects the code or not. And now I'm just going to hit Control V. And now I've entered in that code that we copied from my other graph. So I'm telling it now that I'm going to change the color and the layout for a particular tag. So what tag have we created that we can use here? Let's go over to my daily notes and let's see, I've created a marketing tag right here. Can you see that? So I'm going to go back, and the marketing is with a capital M. So I'm going to hit back and I'm going to replace TTS goals here, and I'm going to replace it with marketing. Okay. And then I think marketing needs to be, let's say it's let's say it's kind of a turquoise, and I want it to have a yellow text. So let's go here. All right. So now if I've done this right, I've told it that the data tag marketing should have a background color of kind of this turquoise green and a text color of a yellow. If I click over on my daily notes, let's see what happens. Boom, there it is. So now every time I do hashtag marketing, that is going to appear. And let's say I have a hashtag meetings, and we know that I've done that. We've already created that hyperlink before. So let's go back into my CSS, my Rome/CSS, and I'm going to create another space, and I'm going to copy that same code again. And in this case, I'm going to replace TTSGoals with meetings. And how about a nice blue background with some white text? Does that sound good? So we'll leave that as white. And now let's go back to my daily notes and look at that, hashtag meetings. So it's literally that simple once you have the proper piece of code to just keep pasting that in for as many times as you need for as many different categories that you want to have appear with a different color. Now, there are themes out there that you can download if you search for Rome Research themes, and they will pre-install a lot of different themes for you. I've chosen to do this on my own, and I've shown you a quick and easy method where you can do this for yourself as well. Now, here we are back in my Rome Research to talk about the final element that I want to show you today, or the final way to customize Rome as far as we're talking about today. And you can see here up on the top right, I have a calendar emoji. And then you can see below those, I have assigned an emoji to each category. And then over here on the left, this big red dot is an emoji. Next here to goals, I have like a soccer goal. Next to activities, I have this little dude running. And then down here by journal, I have the book there that looks like a journal. These are all things that I have added in using a plugin, and I want to show you now how to access that particular plugin. Now, I also want to let you know that there are a lot of tremendous ways out there to customize your Rome that have already been built by other people, and I've installed many of them, and in future videos I will show you them and how they work. But I wanted to show you emojis because, again, to me, the color coding and the emojis, they just take it to another level for me, and it really helps my mind visually categorize everything and know what I'm looking at as quickly as possible. So we're going to go back into the instruction graph. And again, this is where we're gonna do the work. But before we do that, I want to take you to a website where you can get a lot of these different plugins. Now, you'll find in the description a link to this website that I'm about to show you. And this is romejs.com, and they have a bunch of these plugins or extensions, I guess they're called, that you can add to your Rome Research. Now, the way you do this is similar to how you copy in your CSS that we've used to add color categories. And you can see here there is some instructions. It says first create a block with the text Rome Research on any page in your Rome DB. Then create a single child of this block. Type 3 backticks. A code block should appear. Copy this code and paste it into the child block in your graph. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to copy this code right here. And then I'm going to go back into my graph. And I'm going to create a new page just for this type of extension. So I'm going to go to Rome/JS. Okay, so I don't have a page named that yet. So I'm just going to create a brand new page. And now it said to copy and paste this into any page. So if I do that and then hit enter, you can see that it now gives me a warning. It says, do you want to run the code blocks nested here? Yes, I know what I'm doing. This is not safe unless you understand the code and read the code blocks or trust the author. I trust the author in this case, and you could trust me, I guess, because I've been doing this. I've been using this extensively without any problems, whatever that's worth to you. So I click on yes, I know what I'm doing. And then on the block below here, I'm going to hit tab, and then I'm going to hit the /. I'm going to begin to type in code, and this is going to be a code block. Okay. Now remember, over here on the right, it's asking me what type of code. In this case, we know it's a JavaScript code. So now I need to go back to that page, and I need to copy their code right here. So hit Control-C, go back into my Rome/JS, and I'm going to copy that into the code block. All right. So that's how you copy it in. And if we go back to the page, it shows you the usage. So it says in a block, start typing with a colon, the name of the emoji followed by an ending colon. The script will replace the colon phrase with the supported emoji. So if we've done this right, if I go back into our instruction graph, now you may need to refresh this page before the JavaScript is activated. So I'll just hit refresh just in case. And now I go here where I want the emoji to appear. I hit the colon, and then I just start typing a word of whatever the emoji is. So I'll type smile. So immediately I get some smile options. So there's a smirk, there's a smiling, there's a smile. Let's choose smile. And then I can start adding my text after that. So I can start happy day. And let's type calendar. So you can see this is where I got my calendar emoji, right? And remember that this can be impacted by clicking on the bullet point and going down and choosing what type of headline it is. It will make the emoji smaller or bigger or however you want it to be. But this is how simple it is to add emojis to your system. And remember, on this website, romejs.com, there's all kinds of different plugins that you can use in order to make your Rome experience better. Oh, and one other thing that I should show you here quickly is the lines that you see in my Rome graph that separate the information. So if I just enter in 3 dashes and hit return, that adds a new line for me. So if I want 3 more, that's a new line. So that's a great, easy way to get separators between content. So now you can start to see, if we go back to my graph, you can see how I've used all of these elements to customize the experience. I've got all the emojis over here. I've got lines separating information. I've got colored categories or projects. I've got emojis helping me separate the information. So if I go over to my templates, you can see how I've already got that all built in, ready to go when I insert a new template. So my goal today was not to show you how to use every power user feature of Rome. I just really feel like the elements that I've decided to show you, although I may be picking and choosing, well, let's be honest, I am picking and choosing. These are the things that have made my Rome experience what it is. And they take away friction because I can identify things very quickly. And the emojis help me get places. The lines help me get separation. I've decluttered as much as I can. And remember, if you want Rome to do something, sometimes it's just as simple as entering in a Google search and finding a plugin or somebody who has figured out how to make Chrome do exactly what you're looking to do. That's how I found all of this stuff. I just wanted to kind of cut to the chase for you and help you get there a little bit easier. If there are any Chrome features that you want me to explain, let me know. If I don't know how they work, I'll figure it out and I'll try and simplify it and make it easy for you. Just a reminder to please go to jaymcfarland.com, check out all of my other webinars and my books, and become a member of the JayMac Club. This will give you access to all of the other trainings that I do, and it will also help support me and allow me to be able to continue to bring this content to you on a regular basis. Thank you once again. This has been another edition of JayMac Hacks.